The sun had barely risen over Ridgeway High when Ava Morgan stepped through the front gates, her backpack slung over one shoulder and a faint glint of silver resting against her collarbone. It wasn't just any necklace, it was her late mother's, a small locket with a faint scratch in the middle, the only piece of her mother she still carried. Every morning before she entered school, she would touch it lightly, whispering the same quiet promise she'd whispered since the funeral. "I'll make you proud, Mom." The day felt normal at first. The hallways buzzed with laughter, gossip, and the sound of sneakers squeaking on polished floors. But the moment Ava reached her locker, the noise around her changed. It was like the air thickened, because standing near her locker, leaning casually, as if they owned the place, were three of Ridgeway's most notorious bullies. Troy, the self-proclaimed king of the school. His girlfriend Sasha, queen of fake smiles and real cruelty, and their muscle Ethan, who never spoke much but always acted when told. "Well, if it isn't Miss Charity Case," Troy smirked, his voice loud enough for half the hallway to hear. "Wearing Mommy's old jewelry again. Thought we told you it's bad fashion." Ava's hand instinctively went to her necklace, hiding it beneath her shirt. She tried to ignore him, opening her locker quietly. She had learned long ago that ignoring bullies was supposed to make them go away. But these ones didn't want to be ignored, they wanted a reaction. "Hey, we're talking to you," Sasha hissed, stepping forward and shoving the locker door closed before Ava could grab her books. "You're too quiet. It's creepy. You think you're better than us." Ava took a breath, steady but trembling inside. "No, I just don't want trouble." "Trouble finds people like you," Troy grinned, circling her like a predator. "All alone, no friends, no mom, just a sad little charity case." His words hit harder than a punch. She froze, fingers tightening on the strap of her bag. Her mother had passed 3 years ago in a car accident, and it was still an open wound. He knew it, and he enjoyed twisting the knife. "Leave me alone, Troy," she said softly, voice steady but eyes glassy. "Or what?" he mocked, laughing. "You gonna run to a teacher, cry like you always do?" The hallway laughed with him. A few students snickered. Ava's cheeks burned, but she turned and started to walk away. That was when it happened. Sasha lunged forward and yanked the necklace from her neck. The chain snapped with a sharp metallic ping. The sound was louder than anything in the hall. Ava froze mid-step, the world spinning. The small silver locket dropped onto the tiles, bounced once, and landed near Troy's shoe. Her heart stopped. "Oops," Sasha said, pretending to gasp. "Guess it was cheap. Give it back," Ava said quietly. No one moved. Troy smirked, nudging the necklace with his shoe. "You mean this doesn't look like much to me?" Ava took a slow step closer. "Troy," she said, her voice low. "Please, that's my mom's. She's gone." For a split second, Troy almost hesitated, but the hunger for laughter won. He stomped down. The metal cracked. The sound echoed through Ava's chest like lightning splitting a tree. "There," he said coldly. "Now she's really gone." Something in Ava's mind snapped quietly, cleanly, like a thread burning through. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just looked down at the shattered locket, pieces glinting on the floor like broken stars. Her breath grew still. Her heart turned calm too calm. She looked up slowly, meeting Troy's laughing eyes with a gaze that made him falter. "You shouldn't have done that," she said softly. "What's that supposed to mean?" He sneered, trying to sound confident, but his voice cracked. Ava didn't answer. She simply bent down, picked up the broken necklace, and held it gently in her hand. Then she walked away. The hallway watched her go, whispering. No one dared stop her. By lunchtime, rumors were flying. Some said Ava cried in the restroom, some said she went home, but none of them knew where she actually went behind the gym, where the old martial arts mats were kept for after-school clubs. She stood there in silence, staring at the punching dummy in the corner. Her father had been a karate instructor. Before he left, he'd taught her everything he could. Her mother used to call her little warrior. Ava hadn't practiced since her mom's death until now. She wrapped her hands in the old white tape, tied them tight. Her knuckles trembled not from weakness, but from fury disguised as control. Every strike she threw was silent and precise. The sound of fists hitting the pad echoed like thunder in the small room. Thud, thud, thud. "You don't get to break what she left me," she whispered between breaths. "You don't get to laugh at her memory." Sweat dripped down her temple, her braid sticking to her neck. but her eyes burned brighter than ever. Hours passed. The final bell rang, but Ava didn't go home. She waited. When the hallways grew quiet, and the bullies came back for their after-school game, Ava was already there, sitting on the bleachers in the empty gym. Her hands were steady now. Troy saw her first. Well, he said, walking over with that same smirk. Back for round 2, necklace girl. No, Ava said, standing slowly. Back to finish what you started. Sasha laughed, tossing her hair. You gonna hit us with your feelings? Troy chuckled. Yeah, go ahead. Try. Ava stepped forward. Her sneakers barely made a sound. You want me to try? She asked, her tone calm, deadly calm. Fine. She moved before anyone could blink. A single step, pivot, her right leg whipped through the air, a perfect roundhouse kick that caught Troy across the face. He didn't even have time to raise his hands. The crack echoed across the gym as he stumbled backward, collapsing into a row of folded mats. Sasha screamed. Ethan rushed forward, his size and confidence giving him false courage. Ava ducked under his swing and struck his ribs with a sharp side kick. The air left his lungs in a single gasp. She followed it with a spinning elbow to his shoulder that sent him sprawling. The gym fell silent except for the sound of bodies hitting the floor. Troy groaned, clutching his jaw. What the hell? Ava's eyes were like steel. That was for my mom. Sasha backed away, her face pale. You're crazy. No, Ava said quietly. Just done being silent. For the first time in her life, Ava wasn't afraid. Every year of pain, every word of mockery, every lonely lunch and broken memory, she let them all explode through her fists. When the teachers finally arrived, the bullies were lying on the floor, groaning and crying for help. Ava stood still in the middle of the gym, chest heaving, tears glistening, but her face calm. They called her father. They called the police. They even called an ambulance. But Ava didn't care. She walked outside, broken necklace still in her hand. She knelt under the old oak tree behind the school and whispered, I kept my promise, Mom. I didn't let them break me. That night, videos of the fight spread like wildfire. The quiet girl who never spoke, who everyone thought was weak, had taken down 3 bullies in self-defense. People argued, teachers scolded, but the truth was clear. Ava wasn't just a victim anymore. She was a fighter, and everyone at Ridgeway High would remember her name. She sat by her window that night, moonlight falling across the small pieces of the broken locket. With trembling fingers, she pieced it back together. It didn't fit perfectly, but that was okay. Neither did she. But she was stronger now. Tomorrow she would face the world again. And this time she wouldn't bow.